At Encore, it all starts with a handshake. We know that true partnership is about relationships, a connection, a common goal that bonds us. From boardroom to ballroom, courtyard to amphitheater, we consider ourselves a seamless extension to your team. With a hospitality-first mindset, our team delivers world-class service through innovation, collaboration, expertise, and excellence. Providing exceptional creativity, production, industry acumen, and engaging event technology, we see the big picture as an invaluable part of the customer's journey. It all starts with our people. At Encore, we set the stage for success, for events, and for our team. With our robust training for service and technical excellence, a career in event technology is limitless. It's no wonder that we earn the Great Places to Work distinction year after year, but it doesn't end with our people. Utilizing the latest industry trends and thought leadership, we evaluate and pivot as necessary to deliver award-winning experiences. Our rich heritage is built on comprehensive creative, advanced technology, and staging services. We deliver solutions that set the standard from rigging, internet, and power to design and integration services. Our team delivers the expertise to ensure success. We invest in our partnerships to stress our commitment and collaboration to deliver our mutual objectives. With hospitality as our cornerstone, we provide the best products and services to connect and inspire our team, our partners, and event attendees. When people come together, ideas take root and lifelong relationships are built. With imagination and skill, the latest technology, and a passion to excellence, we create innovative event solutions. Encore. Events that transform. One customer, one event, one venue at a time.
So good afternoon or good morning if you're on the West Coast. As Amy said, I'm Jason Younce, and I thought that I'd start with that quick video to set the table for what most people, at least those who've interacted with Encore, like that's for most people, that's what their experience is, what you saw in that video. If you've interacted with us before, it's likely been in a live events industry, like a traditional meeting environment, hotel, convention center, arena, etc. And I think the video does tell a really good story, but like there are some pieces that the video can't tell. So I thought I'd kind of fill in some of the blanks for you, if you will. Encore's been around since 1937. And we started as a really small showing movies out of the trunk of our car, Mr. Ray Swank. And as the years have gone by, like the expansion has happened globally. And today, customers interact with us on 5 continents. It's like 24, 25 companies. And there's this staggering number that every year I hear this number, the number of events we have executed in that particular year. And every year I just get shocked by it. But we're on pace in 2024 to execute just shy of 2 million events around the world. And that's just a mind-boggling number. But I did want to define the word event. So when we say event, it's really just this all-encompassing word. Like it could mean a really simple flip chart. It could mean an LCD projector or a data projector on a screen. Or it could go all the way up to these multi-million-dollar productions that we do for corporate and entertainment customers. When you see the video, and then you look at these figures here, like you might think we're just this big production type of company, and that smaller stuff, like it isn't what we do, and that's a misconception. So the overwhelming majority of what our organization does, so pushing 75% of nearly those 2 million events, those are what we would consider small or medium. So it could be 1 or maybe 2 projectors on some screens, a little bit of lighting, a couple microphones, maybe there's a small virtual component. There might be 5 or 6 dozen of those happening at the same time in some of our largest venues, or in some of our smallest partner venues, it could just be 1 or 2. But like, so the point is that while we can function as that production entity, And we do really good work on those multi-million-dollar events. The overwhelming majority of the customer interactions that we have, they happen in these small to medium type meetings. Just an interesting distinction that I wanted to make there. Today, however, I wanted to introduce and talk about a program that we created called Encore Academic. And we presented last year at the demo day, and in full disclosure, our past presentation, it was probably more closely aligned with institutions that had dedicated hospitality programs, like a Department of Hospitality or a College of Travel and Tourism. Like that program we presented last year was really closely aligned with those. And if you were on that call, you may have come to that conclusion that this program, like it wasn't a fit for your campus because you may have not had a hospitality program. But as time has moved on, the demand for Encore to support meetings on campus has increased significantly. And it was really important that we exercise some flexibility. And so we enhanced the program to what you're going to see on the next 8 or 9 slides. So this is the down and dirty of what the program does, where it takes place, how it is that we do it. And I think initially most people are probably thinking about a conference center. And that may absolutely be the logical place. But we have partnerships where we support a scattered number of venues across a campus. We have one that they have 75-ish buildings on campus, and we support about 20 of those buildings. It could also be, just a few meeting rooms in your student union. It could be a couple outdoor spots like the quad or whatever the central location on your campus is. It could be supporting an arena. It could also be managing the classroom technology and working with professors and students. It could also be partnering with a specific department or college on campus, or it could be all of those. Right? So it's a really flexible program. And we built into this program something that considers the special nuance of supporting meetings on campus. And I can't quickly outline, maybe I can outline some of the different profiles of participants that you have on your campus, but you got professors, alumni, there's internal institution events, there's institution sponsored events, there's external revenue generating things like summer camps. All of these use the campus facilities. So, we're proud of the fact that we think we understand, we have a nuanced understanding of what it takes to work in a higher ed environment. Thus, Encore Academic was created. So the program's got a great deal of customization to the institution, but there's really 6 buckets. And these are the buckets where the bulk of the program benefits lie. So all of our customers engage with us a little bit differently. And in each of these buckets, there's certainly core services that are part of all those partnerships. But not all institutions use the full service. Maybe they just use pieces and parts of the program. But we can build a flexible program that works based on whatever the unique needs of the institution are. So I'm not the type of person who will read to you. You can read these slides at your pace, but I'm just going to kind of zero in on some things that might be important to you. And highlight a couple items that seem to resonate with most of the folks that we talk to. And so with regards to team members, there's a couple points I want to focus on specifically. The first of which is employment preservation. And there's a reason why I'm leading with this point. So in the last couple of years, when we've talked to partners, without fail, we've heard some variation of this quote. Jason, it's a great program, but Bob or Jennifer run things for us, and they're awesome. And if we use you, they lose their job. But that's the general comment, and that's certainly understandable. But what would you say if I told you that wasn't the case? And we see it in the corporate world too. We have a parallel program that we call Encore at Work, which is much more geared to like private corporate offices and headquarter facilities. And in those companies, like they're making these terrible headcount considerations that sometimes result in displacing team members. It's just an awful, insensitive process, but like that does happen in the world. And so a giant piece of the program is this preservation of employment component where, assuming that they pass our hiring protocols, we will maintain employment for those team members. And then they become team members of Encore, and then they've got all the benefits and the career mobility associated with that. But they remain on campus. So if they're these trusted folks that know the stakeholders, know the facility inside and out, and you absolutely want them part of your campus, they can remain in such a capacity. So you get the benefits of partnering with Encore, and you get to keep the team that you've grown to trust and respect in the process. We've also built a program that allows us to align with institutions to give students the ability to work. Like there might be a work study program that the institution wants us to provide. Maybe we are supporting an institution that's got one of those hospitality degrees that I talked about. And they have to have a certain number of hours, work hours towards their degree. They can get those from Encore on campus. Maybe it's not work study, maybe it's not partnering with a hospitality program, maybe it's just like giving the students the opportunity to earn a little bit of spending money, especially in the summers. So, but the point is that we built a component to enable student workers to support here as well. So there are a lot of times, like either in your role with ACCED-I or in your institution or just in your personal lives, where like you listen to prospective vendors talk about service and this white glove benefit that they provide. And it's true, like it's almost a little bit cliche in full disclosure. Like I agree, it's a little bit cliche. You hear it everywhere, white glove service, Cadillac service experience. I've had the good fortune in the last couple of weeks of talking to every corporate member in ACCED-I, and every one of them is legitimately committed to a first-class service program in whatever their respective industry is. So I don't believe it is cliche with any of the corporate members of the organization. And Encore is like no different. But rather than me being cliche and like telling you we're going to give you the Mercedes-Benz treatment, like I want to make sure you understand a couple like core foundational items that like enable our teams to provide that, right? So I'm going to give you a couple of root cause components. So you've all been to meetings before, and like as an attendee, maybe you plan meetings in these traditional meeting environments like hotel, convention centers, etc. You probably haven't thought about it, but like, did you know that so the level of service you get in a lot of places is directly related to the amount of money that you have to spend? Like a hotel will ask you, do you want chicken or do you want steak? Do you want, let me give another top shelf alcohol at a bar, or do you want a couple bottled beer selections? Do you want one projector or two? Do you want a rehearsal day with your full staff? Like, you get my point. These are, these decisions, they're all service related. But they all happen based on what you have to spend. And so in a lot of places, the level of service you receive is directly related to your budget. But we understand that Encore is a guest in your institution, on your campus. We're using your space. We're supporting a lot of internal events using your equipment. And we have to eliminate that. We have to eliminate all decision points to servicing, so all barriers to serve. So if we remove, like I can't tell you it's going to cost you another $500 to use your space on a Friday night. I can't tell you it's going to cost another $300 to use your projector. So by removing, those traditional revenue decision points. We have made it easy for our team to provide a legitimate service first program. And I think that's a really important distinction to make. That's kind of an important foundational point. But I also want to point out that we don't come to support a campus as Encore. We come to support the campus as like the technology team at XYZ University. And while that seems like a semantic, like we think it's important because it means we align ourselves to you and your policies, and we do things your way, as opposed to you going to an external meeting environment and having to do things their way, the Ritz-Carlton way or the Hyatt way, et cetera, and so forth. So the executive leaders of an institution and you may know that Encore is behind the scenes, but like to the people that you serve, it's got to be this seamless partnership. I'm going to quickly go through this one. I don't like I'm not going to inundate anybody with any technical terms, but if you think back to the video, and then that slide after the video that talked about the Encore scope and the network and all the various things that we can bring to bear in any of our partnerships, like all of that stuff as needed is available to our partners, every last bit of it. But here's the scenario that many face. My guess is like some of you that are listening to this probably face this as well. So you've got your team, you've got your built-in technology, and it may be awesome for 75% of what takes place in your world. But when it's not enough, like when you need more staff, when you need a little bit additional equipment, when you need both, sometimes you're the one that has to coordinate it. You've got to go through that entire process. So you've got to find the vendors, you got to converse with them about what you need. You got to get a proposal. You got to negotiate, and then you got to coordinate all the logistics. Like what time are they going to get there? What time are they leaving? How are they going to set up with the rest of your team, et cetera? And like it's a good deal of additional work. But when Encore is on site as part of the Encore Academic program, we do all that. And then when you consider the vast network, like it's quick and easy for us to do. So I hope that makes sense. We also realize in a lot of the facilities, there's permanently installed audiovisual equipment, microphone, projectors, sound system, et cetera. And so we've built into this program this component that's centered around us being a steward of your assets. We can absolutely capitalize an inventory and we can put it on campus and we can use it kind of in conjunction with yours. But in a lot of cases, the institution already has technology available. If you asked yourself, if you're truly honest with yourself, like how does it work in your organization? Most people, if I pulled 100 people, 98 of them would say that in most cases, management of all that technology is static. Like I'm not talking about the service part of it, like somebody coming in and making sure you can get connected to the projector. I'm talking about things like, break fix work, software and firmware updates on hardware, preventative maintenance, which like probably doesn't mean a lot to you, but extending the lifespan of equipment is all based on how well you take care of it leading up to it, right? There's periodic physical inventories, there's repair and maintenance, basic repair and maintenance. And most times there is a department who's responsible for that, but that department, like they're usually understaffed. A lot of times they focus on other things as well. Like in a lot of institutions, the IT team is responsible for all the built-in technology, but the IT job keeps them busy. And so maintaining equipment isn't usually on their list of primary initiatives. So what happens is then the technology fails, response time to fix things is limited, pieces don't work. And it sometimes means there's a lot like these constant workarounds, like if there's workarounds at all. And then when there is a desire and funds to enhance the system, nobody really knows what the best solution to implement is. And so we've also built in this robust inventory management component into the Encore Academic program as well. So you probably heard the words circular service offering. I mean, it's a buzzword. It's just a fancy way of saying it's a one-stop shop. But Encore Academic is a circular service offering, and one of the things is the install work, the upgrades of existing technology, new installations in space on campuses. Like that's all design and integration. And the reason it's a circular service offering is in this case, it's not a separate company doing that work. Like you certainly have the ability to partner with another organization to do the design and installation, but Encore can do it. Like we've got a large design and integration team where we do this work in facilities all over the world. And one thing that's different about us, like relative to other install companies out there, is that we don't market this as a standalone service. Like we only do design and integration projects for Encore partners. On its own, the design and integration team, like it's probably $100 million company if it were to stand on its own. But we're pretty bullish about this, and we believe that this important resource should be exclusive to our customers. And so this is only available to current partners of Encore. Um, but just know that when Encore is a partner on your campus, it's just another program benefit that we can bring to bear. So I'm wrapping it up here. Um, unlike some people, like I'm not uncomfortable talking about financials. Like it's a part of the world we live and operate in. Everything that we do in our personal and professional lives has a set of financial considerations. So like we shouldn't shy away from talking about it. Like it's just a part of it. It's important for you to know, however, that like I said earlier, like we understand the nuance in the academic world, and I'm sure we didn't coin the phrase, but we call it the color of money. We understand the role that endowments and gifts play in an institution. We know that sometimes conference facilities on campus, like they've got to be financially self-sufficient. They may get a little money from the university or the college as a whole, but for the most part, their operating funds are based on how much they generate. They have to take care of their own financial world. We understand key differences in being a public versus a private institution, and in the role that auxiliaries or foundations might play in higher education. We also know that the sales and marketing strategies of institution space, like the price points for meeting support and events, like they're not the same as what they are in the hotel world. Intentionally. And so we've got to have a financial program that's flexible, a program that can help you generate some extra income if needed, but it also needs to be predictable so that you can budget, you can kind of plan accordingly. We also know that oftentimes your technology and the capital inventory is an afterthought. The gear might be good now. Everything installed in your facility might be awesome now, but technology as a whole has a very short lifespan, and it's not as simple as going to Costco, insert store here, Costco. I use Costco because I'm in Seattle, but it's not just as simple as going to Costco and buying a new monitor and slapping it on the wall. Like it can get complicated, and it can get pricey to deal with integrated technology. So Encore has built-in considerations for how we can help you plan for that expense. And in a lot of cases, like we can even help with the expense for that. I guess what I'm saying is that like the previous 8 or 9 slides, however many I had, talked about what we think are the things that many institutions find valuable. And it's not us just making the assumption. Like we've done focus group after focus group after focus group with institution professionals to understand kind of the nuance of their world. And so what we've built in Encore Academic is based a ton upon the feedback of a lot of your peers. But we also needed to make the program within reach to institutions. And so like these are the institutions that've got to be creative financially. And you're working on limited budgets, and competition for funds within the institution, like that's fierce. That could be a fierce battle at times. So we know that, we can not only help make a service impact, but in many cases we can do it in a way that is valuable to you and your financial endeavors as well. So, I mean, for some, maybe not. Like maybe this isn't the right solution. Maybe your current situation is awesome, and that's amazing if it is. But we are aware of the issues facing the higher education world today, and being creative today about how institutions need to execute their business. They have to be much more creative today than they did 5 or 6 years ago. And so there's a lot of them that are outsourcing parts and pieces, to kind of improve their, um, um, improve the specialty service. They want to bring more experts in to help them be more creative from a design and execution perspective. You certainly need to be creative financially. And so we've built a program that kind of is all encompassing, that kind of does all that together. So that's it. I decided to leave my contact information here, both email and phone number. And if you'd like to learn just a little bit more, I'm here, and don't hesitate to call. So thank you.